The arts economy is famous for always needing money. People believe that other industries, such as business and healthcare, are more important to the broader economy, and the arts can't financially support someone's career and livelihood. Therefore, the arts sector shouldn't be given as much money. But what if I told you that the arts economy has a huge impact on surrounding businesses, and can actually recover faster than other industries during recessions? There are many groups right here in Salem making a difference in their community, socially and economically. In this episode, we'll be looking closer at two specific organizations to help us answer the key question: why is funding the arts important? The first organization we'll be looking at is the Salem Arts Association. The Arts Association is a nonprofit dedicated to connecting Salem through a love of art. They operate the Bush Barn Art Center and Annex, which contains 4 different galleries, and the Bush House Museum, originally built by entrepreneur and Salem businessman Asel Bush. The Art Association also runs the Salem Art Fair and Festival in mid-July, which brings together local fine artists and performers. I met with the association's Development and Communication Director, Kelly Harms.
As most nonprofits, you have to have a very diverse funding sources in order to stay in business. So for us, grant funding is about 20% of our budget. The rest of our budget comes from the Salem Art Fair and Festival. That's the biggest fundraiser that we have. The rest of the funding comes from a combination of, memberships, sponsorships, donations, things like that, other smaller fundraising events that we do throughout the year.
You're using this money, it's going into the community. How have you seen it impact the Salem community?
If we didn't have grant funding or some of the other donor-based funding, it would be really hard to be able to do our programs. We're able to offer these programs like our galleries that are free and open to the public, or some of our other programs like putting, art teachers into our school districts. We have a project, I kind of like to call it our superpower project, because we're working with 2 other nonprofits here in the Salem area. We're working with Youth Era and with the Marion Polk Food Share. It was a pilot project we did last year. And so the 3 nonprofits worked together to get supplies for art backpacks that were delivered through the Marion Polk Food Share food pantries. So as families came in to get food boxes, they could also get art supplies for their kids. It was so successful. I mean, we had people who were just like, do you have more? Because we could give as many out as you can make. And because it was a pilot project, we gave about, I think, 1,000 backpacks. So this year we've been fundraising through grant funding to increase that project.
That's great to see this actual impact, because a lot of the cliche public opinion about the arts is they distract from education and businesses or sciences, some things like the hard skills like those. What do you have to say about those opinions, or why is it important to fund the arts?
I think for me, as a human being, you need to have that creative outlet, and that creativity can take a whole bunch of different forms. But if you only focus on the hard sciences, then you lose that ability to look at things from a different perspective. And I think that's what the arts can do for us, is really help make a well-rounded person, so that you're using both sides of your brain, your left brain logical analytical side, or maybe it's your right brain. But whichever, both sides can help you really look at things holistically. And I think whenever we've just focused on one or the other, we all suffer a little bit in not having that well-rounded aspect.
Kelly brought many great points about the benefits of art in the Salem community. Next, I wanted to hear from people involved in a very different kind of art: singing.
We're the Oregon Spirit Chorus. We are a member of the Sweet Adelines International, which is a global organization for women singing four-part harmony in the barbershop style. And we chartered with Sweet Adelines in 2007, so we just recently had our 15th anniversary.
This is Kathy Scheel. She has been directing various choruses since 1971 and is now the artistic director of the Oregon Spirit Chorus. Obviously, in order to operate, you do need funds, money to operate. Where do you end up receiving a lot of those funds?
Gosh, they come from various sources. We've been really fortunate in the last 4 years or so to get grants from the Oregon Arts Commission as well as the Oregon Cultural Trust. And the members pay dues. We have shows. Those are as a fundraising, huge fundraising project. And then we have various fundraisers throughout the year that have been successful, as well as performance fees.
Both located in the Lands Building in the state government sector of Salem, the Oregon Arts Commission and Oregon Cultural Trust are agencies that provide resources and grant money to individuals and groups in Oregon.
I would say a bulk of our expenses are on music and learning tracks, on coaching and education, because we're an education and performance-based organization. My fee.
The chorus does have to pay to use the facilities that they perform and practice in. These facilities are often local churches and schools, bringing the money right back into the community. I also spoke with Tammy Lantis, a chorus member who also volunteers as the head of the administrative team.
We were given an Oregon coronavirus relief. It was from the relief fund, so that we could get our chorus back on track after COVID. We met for 2 years on Zoom, and it was a very difficult time for a lot of our members and even our director. I mean, she had to come up with new ways of teaching us music on Zoom. She brought in a lot of different coaches on Zoom so that we could stay with the chorus and keep learning.
Every Zoom session had to be a little bit of educational, a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of musical, and big time socialization. We managed to actually grow the chorus because I think we kept our presence on Facebook, and we'd take a screenshot of everybody laughing and stuff, and they could see that we were having fun. So as soon as it became even remotely possible to come sing, people came back in kind of droves. We gained 19 new members in that 18 months, or I want to say 19 members in 19 months, so an average of one member a month.
I'm a business owner here in Salem, and I had some customers that came in and they saw the flyer for the show, and they were really excited about coming to our show again because we haven't had one for a couple of years due to COVID. There had to have been 600 people there. I've never seen a show that big, and I've never seen so many people excited to be there. It was really fun to watch. I mean, I stood back in awe of people's excitement. They couldn't stop talking about how excited they were that we are actually getting out there and getting the music going again. I saw people's faces light up. It's just like a light bulb turned on and they were alive again.
I can't imagine a world without the arts. I can't even imagine it. And if it dies because of lack of training or encouragement, what would our world be like? All of the things that are so important to a person's well-being come from art. When you go to a museum or you see a performance or you see a work of art in the street, it impacts you in a positive way.
Having art experiences helps in things like math and reading. I mean, it helps in school performances in ways that you wouldn't necessarily expect. But there's a lot of national data that shows when you support emotional learning and social learning through the arts, you raise the levels in all the other areas.
It's just super important to have music in your life for so many reasons, and Scientific or not, I know how it makes me feel when I sing. I feel alive. So that's really all I can tell you is my experience has been a very positive experience, and it's worth your time.